Hey guys, welcome to another movie review. Today I'm going to be talking about the indie film Lady Bird by director Greta Gerwig. Greta Gerwig is known for her acting ability. She's more so known for being an actress. This is her first time writing and directing a movie. So Lady Bird is her first feature film. One film I saw her in, I wouldn't say a while ago, I would say about 1 year ago roughly, was House of the Devil. Another smaller film that was directed by Ty West. She played more so like a comic relief supporting character in it. She plays like the best friend of the lead character. Really liked her role in that movie, so I was really excited to see kind of how she handled a writing and directing ability for a film. So luckily, Lady Bird showcases that talent. And man, I got to tell you, Greta Gerwig is quite the writer and director. Not only a great actress, but she has two other great things going for her. And I really hope she directs more films here in the future. But let's go back to Lady Bird. Let me tell you the synopsis and what I thought of the film overall. Lady Bird is a film that centers on a girl who calls herself Lady Bird. It's kind of her nickname. And she's played by Saoirse Ronan, if I pronounce that correctly. For those who've seen The Lovely Bones or The Grand Budapest Hotel, she had roles in those films, pretty significant ones. And she is this girl that is in a private Christian school, which has tons of strict rules. Just like the household she lives in with her parents, they also have strict rules. They have very strict guidelines that she needs to follow at all times. They need her home early. They don't want her to stay up late. They kind of have these expectations for her. They want her to go to a certain college that she doesn't want to go to. She wants to go to New York. They want her to stay in California since she lives in Sacramento, California. Um, so as this film progresses, Lady Bird is, like they said, the nickname of this girl. She has tons of choices, tons of things that aren't going to make people happy, but things that will make her happy in the end. The film's also about a coming of age story of high school life and post high school life, and how making the right choices in certain situations in high school, making the right choices in certain situations after high school really does mean everything. Um, this girl's family is very much a lower class family. They have a hard time paying for the home that they live in. Her older brother, who I think is adopted, I want to say, um, he is kind of in between jobs. He's working at a grocery store, but wants to do something that fits his college degrees more so. The father is either in a job that he's really uncomfortable with or has a hard time finding new work whenever that happens. Um, the girl's mother always works double shifts at her job. She seems to work at a psychiatric center of some kind. So, really kind of stressful, focusing work. And obviously, when she has to come home to Ladybird doing something that she doesn't like, obviously that's going to set her off and everything like that. So Ladybird lives kind of in a very tight life. She lives in a life where people are going to react immediately if they don't like what she's doing. She's very much a person that likes to individually do her own thing, wants to go to her own college, wants to pursue the her own program that she personally is interested in, while still kind of having a boyfriend on the side and still having friends, still being kind of the center of attention, still being involved with plays and with math clubs and all that kind of stuff. Um, so Lady Bird is ultimately about a young girl coming of age, finishing up her high school life, entering a post high school life in college. Um, and she has tons of choices that she has to make. Some, like I said, that will make certain people happy, certain choices that will not make other people happy, and she has to do what's best for her over the course of this film. But overall, guys, I really enjoyed Lady Bird a lot. Like I said, I really hope Greta Gerwig directs and writes more movies here on out in the future. I love her as an actress. Who knows? Maybe she can act and write and direct a future film later on down the road. I understand, acting in your own film is a very huge responsibility. I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt to this day with Don John said it was a lot of work with that movie just because he had to be the lead star of that movie as well, on top of writing and directing it. So it can be a very huge responsibility if you kind of want to be able to do everything in your own movie. So I can see why Greta Gerwig kind of took a step back, focused on the writing and directing portion, but she did a beautiful job as a result. And also, I would say the Saoirse Ronan character, like I said, I apologize for those who know how to pronounce her name, but that is the way I pronounce it based on what I'm reading online with her name and so forth. I did see a lot of Greta Gerwig in her character too, so I can kind of see where Greta Gerwig really didn't feel the need to act in this film because her lead star was kind of already doing things that kind of represent her a little bit in certain ways. So, like I said, my first huge positive of this film is Greta Gerwig as writer and director. Very much a stylistic film. Very much a film where it's very sharply edited, very sharply directed, written in a certain way, approached and presented in a certain way. So I think that's where her voice is going to stand out if she chooses to direct and write more films here in the future. I also liked Saoirse Ronan's portrayal of the Lady Bird character. I was very much invested in her. I wanted her to succeed with her goals. I wanted her to have her own way. I wanted her to be able to do things and complete things without her feeling like she was gonna, make her dad mad or her mom mad or her friends mad about something. And then that goes to my next point. I thought Laurie Metcalf, who plays the mother in this film, was very, very good. You can kind of understand her situation with things. She kind of briefly explains kind of something that's going on in her past and kind of why she's very strict with her children. They also go over why the dad is the way he is, why he takes Lady Bird's side, but also kind of has his own problems of his own. But he's still kind of pushing through it and finding work. And when he's pursuing work, he's still pushing through these really difficult things that he has to do with these jobs sometimes. So I thought everybody involved acting wise did a brilliant job. But once again, I really got to give it to Saoirse Ronan, Laurie Metcalf, and Tracy Letts, I think is his name, who plays the father. All three of them did a really, really good job. I wouldn't be shocked at all if all three of them get nominated for Oscars for this movie. But like I said, the entire cast, acting-wise, was just great. Really not a bad performance in this movie. Everybody acting-wise was really good in this movie. I also like this film's messages on growing up, certain life stage transitions, going from high school over to college, going from junior year to senior year, going from focusing on school while also trying to decide what you're going to do with your life and what kind of college you're going to go to, what you're going to study, how you're going to meet those goals, and so forth. I liked how it had all these messages on life stage transitions. And I also like how the film really has a strong statement on standing up for what you believe in. Even if your mother doesn't agree, even if your father doesn't agree, even if your friends don't agree, it's important to pursue what you think is right, what you believe in personally, and what you truly think is the best for yourself and what will meet your goals in the long term. So Lady Bird pursues on all these messages very, very strongly. I also thought that the characters felt like real people in this film. Sometimes when you watch a film like this, like a coming of age story, you'll watch it and you really feel like you're just kind of watching characters in a script. I thought Lady Bird did a really good job, really making sure that the mother and the father and the lead star and the friends and the people who kind of aren't really the friends and the boyfriends of this girl really feel like real people with real problems, real people with real skills and abilities and, the way to be better at certain things than others while also being worse at certain things than others. So I liked how, and maybe this is a huge part of Greta Gerwig's success with this film, is she really made these characters feel real, really have problems, really have things that they're good at, while also kind of providing their own little special thing to the world that really kind of makes them stand out. So I like how she was able to make these characters feel like real people in this film, and that's very difficult to do when you write a film. There was also this sense of there was life of these characters before the movie began. I think that's really neat how a director can accomplish that, how there really was kind of this huge lifespan and all these sets of years of accomplishments and years of things that happened on this character's timeline long before the movie began. I like how, the film kind of catches us up at this while also pursuing that timeline and continuing it somehow and pushing these characters through the story and making them grow and making them learn lessons and so forth, while also really making sure that the life that we see of these characters has long existed way before this movie started. So I like how Greta Gerwig really managed to accomplish this sense of there was life before the movie started, and there's a lot of things that this film can do and say to really make that point clear that there was a lot that happened before this movie began, and this is kind of where these characters currently are in their life situations. But for my negatives of Lady Bird, there's a math teacher in this film that thankfully they don't go in the direction I thought they were going to with Lady Bird's best friend. They kind of dismiss this idea of this math teacher being kind of creepy at first, with showing you an idea of sorts that dismiss this idea of something that you really wish the film doesn't go in, and thankfully they don't go in the direction of what I thought they were going in. But overall, this overall math teacher really was kind of creepy the whole time. Either rewrite him or present him in a more interesting way, I guess. Another negative I had with Lady Bird was when the film does transition over from Lady Bird in high school to Lady Bird in college. The college scenes feel very short-lived. They really kind of just throw a lot of things out the window at that point in the movie. It's very, very late in the film when we see her in college, and they really don't do a lot. They really don't show a lot. I thought the high school scenes were far more investing in as a viewer than I was with investing in what was going on in the college scenes. I kind of got, the final scenes message and everything, but um, for me personally, I thought the college scenes felt very short lived. I felt like if they really wanted to go that direction, make the film a little longer and pursue it longer, because the way that they pursue it, it felt very brief. It felt like they didn't spend enough time with Lady Bird being in college and kind of exactly what happened to her when she got there and everything. So, very short lived, in my opinion. I thought the college scenes could have been extended somehow or pursued differently than how they did them. I also thought there wasn't enough character closure for some of these characters. There is kind of a brief explanation of what happens to Lady Bird's best friend, one of Lady Bird's former boyfriends. But other than that, like these girls that she becomes friends with over the course of, high school almost coming to a close and everything, no closure to those characters at all. They just kind of vanish in the script and they're never spoken of again. So I thought there could have been more character closure for some of these characters. But overall, I liked Lady Bird a lot. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. It has so many great things going for it. I really do hope Greta Gerwig does write and direct more films. Like I said, though, I really could have gone without the creepy math teacher. I really could have gone without the short lived college scenes that didn't feel as interesting or as investing as the high school scenes did. And I thought there could have been more character closure for more of these characters. But overall, I do highly recommend this film. I won't be shocked at all if it gets nominated for Best Picture or even if it wins it. It really is a strong, great film that really is a very strong start for Greta Gerwig if she does decide to write and direct more movies. 9 out of 10 for me. I do highly recommend Lady Bird. Be sure to check out this one.